seconds of rapid gunfire, and we started running toward it. And now an officer is holding us back, so we can't get any closer than this, and I don't think that we would want to. Some of these officers are wearing body armor as they converge on what looks to be about 3 or 4 backyards here in Watertown, Massachusetts.
David, just curious, this is Galston Dart here. Do you have a clear view of what's unfolding right there?
Yes, I'm not a football field away, 100 yards away from the officers that we're providing you a live picture of. That's right. The officers some of them are behind their cars here. Some of them are behind little hill drops here, taking tactical positions here. More are still arriving. When we heard the shots, we hopped in our vehicle and started driving toward the direction they were coming from. And then more officers arrived behind us. So it's a pretty surreal experience when you start seeing the armored police arriving behind you at a scene.
Again, folks, you're watching live pictures as they unfold right now in Watertown, where a stay-in-place order was lifted not an hour ago, and now police are converging on this one house in Watertown where a body has reportedly been found inside a boat. And David Bieniek is also on the scene reporting. What do you see, David?
I was just going to say it's pretty amazing that this came not 10 or 15 minutes after the authorities here in the Boston area had just said that people would start coming out of their homes, and we were interviewing people who had said they were finally getting out of their homes after being cooped up all day, that they felt that they were safe because of the massive police presence in this area, and then not 10 or 15 minutes later, this rapid succession of gunfire that we heard coming from just a few blocks away.
Describe for us again really quick, David, just that sound of rapid gunfire you heard a few minutes ago.
We're now being asked, we're going to have to get a little further away from the scene here.
Is it possible to ask the officers who are moving you back, is it possible to ask them if you're being moved back because they're expecting to detonate anything?
Officers, do you expect to detonate anything here? Says he doesn't know. I'm going to be careful about some of the information that I give out here, but they are bringing in some sort of device right now.
Yep, we can see some kind of heavily geared guy running just out of camera. There we go. We've got, that looks like some tracks for a robot. So looks like they might use that to possibly bring a camera in really close to see what exactly is either in that backyard or perhaps inside that boat that we keep hearing about.
That's right. And it is probably now that device being carried by that officer is probably 200 yards from the area that they're focusing on. When we first arrived on scene, just 30 seconds later, we heard clear the way, and then 2 columns of armored officers with assault weapons. Is it over, sir? So a police officer just walked past. I asked him if it's over. He said, no, not yet. So obviously still an active situation for them here.
David, are those like National Guard, or what can you tell?
Yeah, I can't tell, but they are wearing camouflage. They have dogs, and they appear to have what look like night scope binoculars and cameras on their helmets as they arrive. Each of them are carrying at least 2 assault rifles, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them who are now converging on the scene.
David, let us tell you what we're also learning from NBC News, and that is that a bomb disposal unit has now been requested and should be arriving on scene shortly. So this clearly, FBI, clearly now identified as an FBI tactical unit arriving on scene. And again, a bomb disposal unit should be arriving shortly as well.
Look at those guys. Now, those guys are dressed differently.
That's right, and I can't make out the patches that they have on them. Some of them are...
David, we want to let you know on the subject you just raised.
I can tell you, they're ATF agents now.
ATF, okay, so you've got ATF in the green, you had the, you can clearly see it there now. And then you've got the FBI coming in with the kind of camo set up, and it looks like they're there to back up whatever's going to happen here.
And David, we do want to let you guys know out on the field there in Watertown, Massachusetts, that this signal is being carried live in the Boston market as well.
So tell us how you guys got to that scene, because they had lifted the stay-in-place order. You hear all of this, the rapid gunfire, possibly some gas canisters being deployed. How did you know where to go to, and how did you guys get there?
We went in the direction that the gunfire seemed to be coming from. We were just a couple of blocks away where we had been kept with the other media that have gathered here. And we were just breaking down starting to interview people, ask them what it had been like to be cooped up in their houses all day and how they felt about finally being able to come outside. And people were back out in the street, and people were telling us they felt safe, that they felt that if the fellow was still here, that they would be safe because of all the police presence. And we had just finished interviewing someone who said those exact words when we heard the rapid gunfire.
And what was their reaction? The residents themselves hearing that gunfire?
People scattered, and they were quickly overwhelmed by the approaching police officers as they just arrived from every direction. Are those more people leaving over there, Robbie? Can you see? Robbie is my videographer here, and with his camera, he can sometimes see better than I.
Yeah. We should mention, just doing excellent work in difficult circumstances.
Looks like more people being escorted out by some police.
We just heard what sounded like a single bang. The officers don't seem to be reacting to the sound, but it was just as that group of people was leaving the scene.
Okay, maybe an indication then that they were warned this was coming.
The bang that we heard, there's another one. There's two more. There's two more bangs.
Yeah, no reaction at all. Clearly they know that something is to be expected happening there.
Two more bangs. There was a single bang, and about 15 seconds later, two rapid bangs. Helicopter flown away. That was really quiet.
We should let people know that you're watching live pictures from our KCRA3 crew. They are on the ground right now in Watertown, Massachusetts.
And another bang.
And they are keeping a trained eye outside this house, where inside a boat, a witness called into police that they thought they had seen somebody and some blood inside that boat. This has caused a huge police presence now in Watertown. Just after they lifted the stay-in-place order, they are now all trained on this house as they send in robots. David Bieniek reporting that he's hearing several bangs right now. Do not know exactly what those are yet, but they are continuing to...
Two more bangs right there.
That's a total of 6 by my count. We can see, are we seeing those flashes? David, is that what we just saw?
I'm sorry, what did you see, Robbie? You can see flashes on the trees. You can see flashes on the trees.
Yeah.
Can you tell which direction it is? Does it seem like someone's shooting from there, Robbie? Does it seem like someone's shooting? My videographer, Robbie, it looks more tighter view.
Okay, so they're still keeping an eye right there in the treetops, probably to see if they can get some more reflection from any of those flashbangs or some kind of gunfire.
David Bieniek along with Robbie Beeson providing us these pictures and excellent information. And David, you have just been told by police on the ground there that the suspect is still moving.
That's right. Not 3 minutes ago, an officer walked by. We don't know his name, but he was wearing a uniform, and he was wearing protective body armor. And I asked him, is this almost over? And he said, no, quote, he's moving. We can hear yelling in the distance. But obviously it appears that they are trying to communicate with the suspect.
Did you say you heard yelling in the distance?
That's right. From where we see the officers, we can hear yelling, we hear voices, but there's a bit of a wind out here, so we can't make out exactly what they're saying. Yeah, we can just make out just now. We just heard, "Come on out, I know you can hear me," is what they are yelling. And they appear to be repeatedly yelling that towards the house. If you hands up, I hear him yelling, keep your hands up.
Keep your hands up.
Which would suggest that maybe they are.
That this could be coming to an end. David, about
in the air.
Keep your hands up in the air. Sorry, we're taking notes as you're.
Yeah, we're listening, David. Keep going.
Yes, I'm going to listen as well.
Okay.
I'm going to listen as well. I think he's saying, just keep your hands up. Come on out. There doesn't seem to be, we don't see any movement from the house. There doesn't seem to be any response. It was about 15 or 20 minutes ago that an officer told us he is still moving, so that they believe he is still alive. Officers are applauding, clapping. We hear clapping.
Okay, that's interesting.
And now some are walking away. Some are turning and walking away.
You got to remember they lost one of their brothers in law enforcement last night.
One is out walking in the open. One is out walking in the open.
All right, that speaks volumes right there.
Yeah, it's looking like an all
Let me
clear.
walk down and see if we can get the very first reaction from the officer.
Yeah, go ahead, David, and we'll keep looking at these pictures. So they're walking away. You heard David said that they...
Is it over? Is it safe? He's dead? No. No, that's the direct answer, but they do seem to be walking away.
You know, David, we'll let you stay exactly where you are. One of these officers may, in fact, give you the confirmation we're waiting for, but certainly this picture speaks volumes. The fact that we heard applause from officers. And Galston, as you mentioned, an MIT officer shot and killed allegedly by these suspects last night.
Officers in custody?
Still a hot scene, the officers are saying.
Still a hot scene.
The suspect been neutralized? Officer says the suspect has been neutralized.
So, okay.
Has he been neutralized? And the officer replied yes. But it's still a hot scene, perhaps suggesting there may be concerns about moving traffic.
Sure.
The officer asked if it's been neutralized, and he said yes.
That's often...
Now more officers are walking away. Walking away, crossing the parking lot where they crossed running a couple of hours ago.
So again, David, just to be sure so we can relay again to our viewers who just may be joining, you asked that police officer, has the suspect been neutralized? And the reply was yes.
Yes. Yes.